Hello everyone, Luke here and welcome back to the channel. So the world has an energy problem at the moment, and currently most countries are phasing out coal and gas generation, which does make sense because it likes to kick a whole bunch of pollution up into the air. So there's two main ways of generation after that. There is renewables and there is nuclear. But we'll talk about nuclear in a whole nother video on a whole nother day because that is a whole nother subject. So when you think about renewables, there's three main ways that you can generate. And currently they are wind, water and sun. And taking that into account, it got me thinking, what kind of green generation is happening around the area that I live in? And to my surprise, there's actually quite a bit that's happening. There's wind generation, there's water generation, and there is sun generation, would you believe it or not? And there's quite a few of these plants or facilities actually located around my area, and this is the first one. Okay, so we're at our first location, and this is an actual solar farm, and it's located right near me. And there's actually a load of these around my area, out within like a 15 to 20 mile distance, radius, sorry. And I do think that is actually pretty cool. So let's head back to the office and talk about some more technical details. So take a look at this. I actually mapped this out on Google to measure the distance of this solar farm, and it's around 197,153 square meters, or around 48.7 acres. And that is quite a lot of solar panels. Okay, so this is just a ballpark figure and it's not going to be exact, but apparently from what I've looked up online, the rule of thumb is around for every 3.5 acres of land you've got, you're going to produce around 1 megawatt of usable energy. And I actually double checked this by taking a look at the biggest solar farm in the UK, which is Shortwick Solar Park. They have about 250 acres of land and they produce around 72.2 megawatts of usable energy every year. So if we do our calculation of 250 divided by 3.5 acres, that will give us around 71.4 megawatts of usable energy, which is actually very, very close to the actual figure. So now we've got that, we can work out how much energy is actually being produced in Hicks Forstall Solar Farm. So on a yearly basis, that solar farm probably produces in the region of around 14.2 megawatts of usable energy per year. That is actually very cool. So now we should take a look at this. And this one is Littlebourne Solar Farm. It's actually slightly bigger than Hicks. It's at around 53 acres, and if we do the same calculation as we did last time, we can see its output, and it's around the ballpark figure of 15.1 megawatts per year. And again, that's actually really cool. And within the same distance, there's two other solar farms. There's this one, which is around 153.3 acres big, and it produces in the ballpark of around 43.8 megawatts per year. And then we've got this second one. It's literally across the road from the first one, and this is around 56.6 acres big, and it produces around 16.1 megawatts per year. And to take that into consideration, 1 megawatt is around 1,000,000 watts. So that's enough about solar. Let's talk about some wind generation. So take a look at this. This is actually called the Kentish Flats Offshore Wind Farm, and this is located really very close to me. And the closest wind turbine to the coast is around 5.5 miles out, which gives you some sort of sense of distance. And that is actually quite far. So there's actually 45 of these turbines in operation right now, and that produces around 139 megawatts of energy per year. So that is a considerable amount of energy that's being produced on a yearly basis, and I guess they're not as intrusive as some people think because, well, it's about 6 miles out from the coast. But not only do we have wind generation here, we also have water generation. So let's take a look at this. And this is called Crumblecorn Mill. It's actually one of the oldest mills in the UK, and it's located in Dover, which is around 15 miles out from where I live. So it actually isn't very far. And its initial use wasn't to generate any electricity because, well, it's very old. But in around 2005, they decided to do something different. And at this time, they actually installed a 1.5 kilowatt turbine module, and they pretty much did this for three reasons. The first reason being, well, it helps cut down on energy costs. The second reason being is the hydropower output will cut the building's carbon emissions by more than 12 tonnes a year. That's absolutely crazy. And the third reason being is that 1.5 kilowatt turbine module is highly rated for educational purposes, and because it's a museum, it would be less intimidating for the younger visitors, and it would increase the visibility of these hydro operations. I think that is incredibly awesome. And you know, I personally think that if we was to curb our energy usage habits and implemented more green generation such as solar panels or wind farms or even water bills, I feel like we'll be able to tackle this energy crisis a little bit better. And I feel like this popular UK saying definitely fits in very nicely, and that is, every little helps. So that was actually incredibly fun, and it's nice to know how much green energy is actually getting produced around me. And if you guys have anything similar around your areas, please let me know in the comments, because I do think it's very interesting. But with that being said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them all. Anyway guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later.